Welcome back to FTBL Culture. It's your boy Culture Cams. Different studio, same thing is going to happen. Listen, the title race is absolutely heating up at the moment, and as you can see by the title, it's getting to that point where it's treble talk. We've been here before, but of course I'm joined by my man Liez. How are you?
I'm good, man. I like the new studio. I like how it looks, and let's get into it.
We'll see if it's full time. We'll see what's going on with that. But bro, Arsenal drop points. You know, Arsenal drop points now. And I know it's funny because it's coming from your point of view, which we'll get into, but we are at that point of the season where it's treble talk again. We were here last year with Liverpool, and I feel like we're here nearly every season with City. Are they going to do the treble?
Yeah, they go far in every competition.
They go far in every competition. But there's a man in their team at the moment which is making this proposition seem very real. And that's, of course, Erling Haaland.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Pep Guardiola has always had great teams, and we always feel like every year, even at Bayern Munich, can he win the treble? He's always on the cusp of a treble.
Of course.
But now he has a big white machine in Erling Haaland, and the prospect is feeling very real. And I know you mentioned, right, you were speaking about it and you were like, that is like your biggest fear. You know, that your biggest fear is City doing it. But get into it. Why is it that you are so adamant that you do not want Man City to win? Obviously, as a Man United.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, of course, like there's always the United City thing. But you are someone who always tells me, like, City United, is it as big a rivalry as Liverpool? Definitely not. Is it as big a rivalry as Arsenal? Probably not either. So I definitely hear it from that point of view. Like, if City wins the league, I'm not expecting City fans in my DMs or my mentions trying to clown me. So in that sense, you would want City to win. And when they've played against Liverpool, I've always wanted City to beat Liverpool to the title. But it's getting really real now in terms of City, in my eyes, are almost rewriting the Premier League and almost, I don't want to say erasing, because what Fergie did for United is eternal. It'll never go away. But they're almost like kind of covering it up a little or making it seem a little less relevant because Fergie, like you always say, first of all, knocked Liverpool off their perch, but set records with this club that to this point have never been broken. To this day, we are the only team in English Premier League history to do the three-peat. And he did it twice. City are on cusp to do that. United are the only English team ever to win the modern day Champions League, FA Cup, or like domestic cup and league treble.
Only team to even do the double.
There you
Champions
go.
League and Premier League in the same season.
We're the only team to do that. City are on cusp to do that. So all of the stuff that Fergie did that, first of all, made him, in my eyes, the greatest manager of all time, but also made this club by far and away the greatest English team of all time. I'm not saying City by doing this will eclipse United, but they're putting us on a level playing field now in terms of all-time greatness. Like, you won't be able to talk about United on their own in that sense anymore. Now it's going to be, that United team and that City team.
Yeah. So that's what it's...
And it just makes it feel so much more real because in 10 years, bro, City have done all this great stuff, but we've always been able to say, the Champions League, they didn't do three-peats. But they're putting themselves on that pedestal next to us. And
but
it hurts, bro. It hurts.
The day was always going to come.
Of course.
Let's keep it 100. The day was always going to come. Like, listen, first and foremost, it's not a foregone conclusion because I believe Real Madrid should go through. And we know what Real Madrid did. At this point of last season, it was, is it going to be a City potential double or a Liverpool quadruple?
City we were looking at semifinals of the FA Cup too. Like they went deep.
Yeah, exactly. So it was neck and neck, but I feel like it's not a foregone conclusion at the moment. I know to say they're on the cusp of winning the Champions League, I think we're a bit early. Premier League, I understand it because Arsenal have dropped points now. And this is what Manchester City do. They go on, they win games. They've already done their little 10-game win streak. We know what Manchester City...
They're on track. Let me say that. They're on
track. Yeah, they're on track. But the reason for me why I'm... Like, as I said, look, the Manchester United-Man City rivalry, yes, it's a rivalry by demographic, you know, the geographical, sorry. But it's not as fierce as the Liverpool one. You know what I mean? You can even argue the Leeds one. And obviously, if you grow up, of course, I'm from London, and even people in Manchester, even you speak to Roy Keane, the hate that they had for Arsenal was always greater, of course, because they were actual rivals for the biggest honours. So that stays with you forever, right? And now I'm not here saying, oh, please, I want Manchester City to win the league or anything. Listen, the best team's going to win whatever, and I enjoy watching both of them play football. But the reason why I'm not so scared of how you are in terms of the records is because if Manchester United were competing
Yeah.
You know, if Manchester United were the ones that they were pipping to the glory and we were second, they were first.
Like that Jose year when they hit 100 points, and it was on us.
Exactly. Or, you know, we got to a final, they beat us. Okay, they could in the FA Cup, who knows? But
Imagine
it's
that.
the fact,
Imagine
it's the fact that Manchester United are not even competing. So to me, it kind of softens the blow. Like, I look at my club first before I look at what can the rivals do for me. If my club can't get it done, then why am I here, you know, crying about...
Bring up a good point, to be honest, about FA Cup. Imagine we're in an FA Cup final against them and they've already won the league at that point and they're in the Champions League final a few days later. We kind of... That means more, bro, because it's like, yo, we can stop this treble, or bro, they're going to win this treble on our head tops too. Like, we were like a bump in the road for them, bro.
Yeah, and it's a similar thing as in when we went to win the treble in 99, beat Arsenal in the semi-final. So that kind of moment happened as well. But the thing is, what I would say is just like, as I said, I just look towards us more. You know, I look towards Manchester United more, and I get it. Okay, now if we lose in the final, that will be a bit. Do you know what I mean? But I'm not gonna lie. I feel like if things are on the line like that, we might show out. You know, like, you know. Hey, listen. Do you remember when? Really? Remember the Smalling, the 3-2, the Pogba game?
Yeah.
Like, yo, we were about to get a record on our head toes, and we went and done our job. But
what you saying, Lindelof to come in clutch?
Hey, listen, Big Mags, little sending off present. Hey, but listen, going into the bigger picture, apart from Manchester City being able to, you know, eclipse Manchester United, not eclipse, but match Manchester United's honours, do you actually sit there and say, if they win the treble and the three-peat, of course, Pep is the GOAT? And is this City team the best ever Premier League side?
You know, it's very interesting, right? Because this whole treble talk, like, I'm of the belief, first of all, that United's best team was the 07-08 team, and it wasn't even the
double,
99 in terms of like pure quality. So I would look at the City team similar. Like, okay, this would be the team to win the treble, but is this the best City team we've seen? Probably not. So the Champions League is always interesting because the best team doesn't always end up winning it. But in terms of accomplishments, this is neck and neck with it. In terms of teams, yeah, I think you can say that this City team, in terms of the dominance that they've had in this 3 to 4 year period, it's more emphatic in my opinion.
But where do you start when you do these debates, right? And like anyone watching as well, like when we do these debates, where do you start it from? You know, because I did an FTBL culture a few months ago, and I was talking about the best sides. You know what I mean? Because when Haaland was when we were going through Erling, Sanity is back, by the way. But when we were going through that, I was like, where does this team rank? And I was like, I put them second. I put them second, and I put United first. But where do you start it from? Do you start it from Centurions all the way to now? Do you start it from the first this three-peat now? Where do you start that? Because when we often talk about the great Man United team, we don't include the fact that United won the league in 2011, do we?
Yeah, because we did like 5 and 7 basically.
Yeah, but we don't really talk about that. So where is it that you would start it from? Is it mainly just kind of like Pep's era v Fergie's best era, you know, or are you doing it per side?
I would actually say that this City team, we should start it at the first of their three-peat, because you can actually argue that first City team, they had Company still in there. David Silva is different. This City team, I think of the protagonists of it. I think of Gundogan. I think of De Bruyne, of course, who actually eclipses both of them. Ruben Diaz is a protagonist of it. Erling Haaland now is a protagonist of it. Even Phil Foden.
John Stones,
Mahrez. Like, this is like a newer City team compared to the one where like that was almost the other one. That was almost like that 17-18 and 18-19. Of course, there's overlapping players there, but I think of it differently to this one. Just the same with United, like that 10-11 team, you had Chicharito, the 12-13 you had Van Persie. I'm thinking of that three-peat team versus this three-peat team, or even that three-peat team in the 97, 98, 98, 99, et cetera, et cetera. So that's the way I look at it. I look at this City three-peat. The team is amazing. Like, we don't have to speak about the play.
I feel like there's so much greatness talk on the line for City this time. Like, you're looking at two teams in a completely different ends of the spectrum, should we say? Yeah. You're looking at Arsenal, who are trying to get their respect. You're looking at Arsenal, who are trying to make that first step into greatness, should you say? And you look at the City team, though, they are trying to get that final. Give me my damn respect. We are one of the greatest. And I feel like there's so many GOAT conversations in a way that are on the line here.
Of course, it's true.
I mean, imagine another KDB, in a way, KDB-led Man City title. And it becomes with a treble as well.
Yeah.
I mean, he'll have the stats to back up his claims. He'll have more trophies than Gerrard, then Lampard, then all of these guys. I think he already does have more than
Bar
them.
Scholes is the only one.
Obviously, Bar Scholes. So he would already be sitting in that conversation. So now it would be, is he the GOAT midfielder? Is Pep the GOAT manager? Is this the GOAT Man City team?
The GOAT Premier League.
Is this the GOAT? Sorry, is this the GOAT Premier League team?
Yeah.
They have so much on the line that it's actually going to be such an incredible end to the season. Like, I can't wait to see it. And in a way, like, obviously, I don't want it to, all of that to happen. I need Man United to win the FA Cup, of course. But it's actually going to open so many conversations that some people might feel uncomfortable to have. But we are going to have to have it, bro. Do you know what I'm saying?
Nah, 100%, bro. I know a lot of people, like, especially throughout this season, like, they've been saying, like, oh, is this kind of the end for City? Or, like, have they hit a bump? But, like, this is really their greatness personified. I keep bringing it up that the City team reminds me of the 08-09 United team, where, like, the Ronaldo wasn't hitting 40 goals that season. Rooney was like kind of having like a bit of like a purgatory year, but it was like really the defense that got them through, their mentality, their experience that got them over the finish line against like a Liverpool team who had never been there. The City team, it feels similar to me in that at points of the season we were saying, oh, De Bruyne is not playing at his best. Is the attack better with or without Haaland? And like, of course, Haaland's been scoring throughout the period, but that defense is really what's been built upon this entire City team. It's led them from match day 1 to now, and it looks like, bro, on momentum, I think they look the hottest team.
This could be one of his most impressive coaching jobs because it started in a way where we were thinking they're not playing at their best, should we say. They're not playing at their most optimal level that we've seen in Man City. And Pep done a few things to shake it up. You know, of course, Cancelo went. There was the talks about, is Haaland fitting in right? Even though he's scoring goals, how is he helping the team? You look at them now, it's automatic. It's automatic. You look at the improvement of a Jack Grealish, what Pep's done to alter that. That Ake, you know what I mean? Bringing Stones into basically the midfield. He's had to actually tinker so many things, I think, more than he's had to do in any other season. Even the seasons when he had to go false 9 up top. That was kind of not simple, but it's...
Yeah, he's been there a bit before.
I've been there, he's done that.
Different,
of course, he's done that.
System,
but this one now, everyone's doing it. 3-2-4, whatever this formation he's playing. We ain't seen that in the Premier League. And the fact that he's had to kind of create that mid-season to kind of find a solution to how to get the best out of KDB, Grealish, and Haaland at the same time. This might be like, even though it's not the best team, I think Liverpool are a lot better than the Arsenal team when they were going head to head. However, this might be his best kind of job that he's done as a coach in the Premier League.
I agree, and I think it also like speaks really well of him, because I think when people think of Pep, they think of like the idealist, plays this tiki-taka. He's very like people. In fact, they call him stubborn and like he tinkers a lot. But I think this season and this City team is evidence that Pep, first of all, is an exceptional tactician, but B, he's not afraid to get dirty with it in terms of like he will put out a team that. You look at this back four, for example. I would never have imagined in my life that City or Pep would play 4 center backs in a team, and he's showing that he's
the mold of them. Like,
they're not like it's not like PK or like
you
are like men, Akanji, Ake.
That's the most. Of course, City have technical ability anywhere. Ake's got he's pretty decent with all that stuff, but exactly, you would be expecting a little bit more Hummels and PK and Stones and that, but then they got Diaz, Akanji, Ake.
Rodri in front.
It's very, very interesting to see, man. So you got to give him the massive respect.
Let me ask you this then. If City does win the treble, this whole Pep versus Fergie thing, we talked about the greatest teams. Let's talk about the greatest managers. How does it stack up for you if he ends up winning it?
You know what? I always say they're on the same table. I feel like they're the two greatest, right? They're on the same table. I don't have them on a different table. You know, I have Fergie on a different table to like Wenger's and Ancelotti's and Jose's, and I do it with Pep. There's no way they're on a separate table. The jobs that they're doing are so different as well. Where Fergie picked up Manchester United from, what Pep's done with them. I always say Pep is definitely the best coach I've ever seen. Yeah, he's the best coach in terms of finding solutions, in terms of tactically, in terms of influencing the game, in terms of just rethinking things. I think Pep is number one in that instant. Man management, getting the best out of players that you'll probably think are over the hill or they're not good enough. Elevating the ceiling, building a club. That's what Fergie really was. So it's such a hard one for me. Like, because again, I still think you have to go towards the end of their careers. And the reason why I say, towards the end of, Pep's career. And the reason why I say that is because who would have seen what happened with Jose? I don't think that's going to happen with Pep, right? But who would know? Like, if he'd done this, for example, and then City don't go and win any titles anymore, and they fall off, and Pep falls off, goes
Yeah, it's true.
all of a sudden, we're going to be like, why did we have that debate? But it kind of...
No, it's true. Jose, right?
Waters it down.
You look at his career up until 2010 when he won that 3-peat with Inter.
Fergie was saying, this guy's going to eclipse me.
No, 100%. Like, if he had retired at that point, we would have said this is one of, like, he could be top 2 manager of all time.
Like, stretch.
You could say that decade, it's the greatest manager of all time.
Yeah.
And now you look at the decade, it's actually hurt him. So yeah, it's the same thing with Pep.
Like, I feel like we just need to see at the end of their careers. Listen, I'm not somebody that's so against people calling Pep the GOAT. That's fine, because as I said, as a coach, he's different
100%.
level. He's definitely better than Ferguson on that extent. But I do think we just have to wait. Like, imagine Pep just says, "Oh, I'm going to call it a day after this treble." Cool. We'll then look at it like, all right, cool. From this 8. Then you can, but you never really know how it's going to finish. One thing about Fergie is he started kind of at the bottom, shall we say, and he never came off the top when he got to the top.
And he has longevity as well.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And you can't use longevity as a... Because, you know, sometimes you have a player and people will say, well, he's just a longevity merchant. Because, they might have some 6 out of 10 seasons and one... With a management, you win. It's black and white. Do you win trophies? He won from the top.
Even like the longevity, it's the adaptation too. He adapted throughout three different eras,
decades.
Bro, built 3 different teams.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like, it's a tough one.
That's GOAT talk, right?
Yeah, it's 1A and 1B. But listen, I know once it happens, if they do it, it's gonna be uncomfortable conversations for sure.
I'm telling you, bro.
Let's see what happens, man. But listen, that was a nice little chat, man. The title race is heating up. It's going to be crazy, man. Hey, listen.
You got City now winning it.
You know, I've been Arsenal this whole way, but I can't see anything but City at the moment. I can't see anything but City now at this point. Like, they've been there, done that. And to see Bukayo Saka miss that penalty, someone that hasn't
like
been in this moment.
The mental edge is kind of starting to slip a bit.
2-0 dropped again. But listen, you guys, we have spoken about that on Stoppage Time TV. Make sure you go and watch Stoppage Time as well if you have not watched that. This is another episode of FTBL Culture. Leah's love for coming through.
Pleasure.
Make sure you like, make sure you share, make sure you subscribe, turn the notifications on. Of course, you guys know the content's coming. Hopefully we have some good things coming up in the next week or so. Stay tuned and we are out.